Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to the second Steam Monster Summer Sale update video. This one's for the flash sales, and unfortunately they're only going to be up for about 5 more hours, so I guess get them while they're hot. These do not last for another 24 hours thereafter, because I think the daily deals do last. Now, quick reminder that I forgot to put in the previous video, but if a game is not on a daily deal or a flash deal, don't buy it. And wait until the very, very last day, just because chances are it will go on a daily deal or a flash sale or a special monster game extra price thing. I don't even know. But this... Never ever buy a game from a Steam Summer Sale that is currently not in a deal, in any kind of, like, special deal, because chances are you will run across one that, like, a deal for the game you're looking for. And if you miss it, you can always buy it during the Encore sale at whatever current sale price it is. And if you're planning on buying it, chances are it's a good enough price as it goes. But if you wait, you might just get something cheaper. Okay, so on to the deals. First and foremost, Guns of Icarus Online. Normally $15, it's down to $2.25 at 85% off, which is an amazing deal. The game is a lot of fun. I mean, you're flying around in airships, manning either guns, repairing shit, or piloting. And if you can get into the team-based element of it, the competitiveness of it, and whatever, it's an absolute blast. And actually, by the way, you can get a 4-pack for $4.50, so, you know, you get the last one for free. Which, personally, I highly recommend. The game is a lot more fun with friends, and I have not played it solo yet, and I don't really want to. So if you can wrangle 3 other friends to play with you, you get a full ship's worth of crew, and you can, I don't know, faff around for an hour or two, blasting other people out of the sky, which is a lot of fun, let me tell you. Okay, next up is Towerfall Ascension. Towerfall Ascension is unfortunately local co-op, so if you're looking for something online multiplayer, look elsewhere, because unfortunately the developers are very rabid about the whole no online co-op thing, which makes me really sad, because this game is really fun. Effectively, it's kind of if you took Super Smash Brothers, put everybody into small little arenas with bows and arrows, and told you all to kill each other. You only have 1 health, and you have like 3 or 4 arrows or something like that, and the entire goal is to kill the other players somehow. There are power-ups, there are clever movement skills, all sorts of things that you can do in the game, and it actually is a really, really solid competitive game. It's a lot of fun. That said, you know, if you've got a friend that's really good at it, might kind of suck a little bit, but personally, I highly recommend it if you can get a group of friends together to play for an evening or multiple evenings, because this is definitely a good, you know, kind of invite friends over, line up the couch, and play for hours. It's also got a cooperative campaign, which is actually fairly deep comparatively, and really it's just killing a bunch of monsters in, you know, the competitive arenas over and over and over again with the occasional couple of bosses, which is actually kind of really cool. I like the game, and honestly, at $5.10 at 66% off, it's an absolute steal as well. But again, if you can't get it, if you don't have friends locally, it's not worth picking up. Okay, next up is the Amnesia collection. At $14, 60% off. It includes Amnesia 1 and Amnesia the Dark Descent and Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Honestly, if you don't have these already, chances are they'll get bundled along the way. They've been bundled frequently, and you might already have it. That said, if you're really into horror games like Outlast and whatever, this is an absolute, you know, deal no matter what price it's at. That said, it has gone cheaper. I've seen Amnesia Dark Descent for $5 before. So you're not losing that much money if you buy this one now, but if you're more than willing to be patient, you can get this at a better deal. Next up is Magicite. Magicite is a bit of a mess. I don't like the game that much. It's good for kind of like a lulzy co-op session with friends, especially if your friends actually have great senses of humor and don't mind dying nigh constantly. The game is very, very feature sparse, and if you look at the reviews, it's got like a lot of good reviews. These are all the people that, you know, thought, oh man, early access roguelike, what could go wrong? Problem is, the developer has effectively abandoned development on the game, at least comparatively so, to create a fairly similar game, from what I can tell, at least visually, called Roguelands. So that one might actually be better. I think the developers learned a lot from it, And honestly, at a price tag of $3.39, Magicite is not a terrible price tag, but if you want to go play cooperative roguelikes, go play Risk of Rain. It's just downright better. The crafting system in this game is pretty much garbage. It's just making more pickaxes, armor, and or weapons. There's nothing fancy about it. The combat is awkward, clunky, and just downright generally not fun. And if you're buying this for the online multiplayer, it's barely functional. I'd say about half of the sessions I've ever been in with friends have just flat out failed. We even have a death roulette thing set up for game crashing, and it always wins. That said, if you're really hardcore and you really want to get into, you know, the game, it's not the worst game I've ever played. I'm just very grumpy about a very large number of things about it. So, I guess, take my opinion with a grain of salt. I may or may not feel burned about the whole developer moving on to greener pastures before the game truly feels like it's done. Either way, I don't know. And you can also buy a 4-pack for about $10, which isn't terrible. It is way more fun with friends. Next up, Surgeon Simulator, Anniversary Edition. At $2.59, 80% off. You cannot go wrong for this kind of stupid fun. That said, chances are it's going to be the kind of thing that you're going to buy and never play, and or you might already have it from Humble Bundle and you've totally forgotten. It's fun. I mean, the entire premise is you're just performing surgeries on various people under various conditions, culminating in, I think, a surgery on an alien. I'd say that's a spoiler, but honestly, the game's been out for years, and really there's no plot, so there's that. But I mean, it's a goat simulator, like before Goat Simulator came out. It's stupid, it's barely functional, and that's the point of it all. Okay, next up is Halo Spartan Assault. Halo Spartan Assault, top-down shooter. It's fairly good. Actually surprisingly good for what it is. I just wish it had more to it, more multiplayer, and or was actually a legitimate Halo game as opposed to a top-down shooter on the PC platform. Because you know what? There need to be more Halo games on the PC. Looking at you, 343, but you're obviously not looking in my direction. Okay, next up is Monaco. Should have talked about this first and foremost. It's actually my favorite game of the entire bunch. It's damn good. It is, like Guns of Icarus, an absolute blast with friends. You can get through the entire campaign in about 12 YouTube episodes. So scale that to time, I don't know, somewhere around 3-4 hours. And that's just the main campaign. There's a bunch of like side missions, competitive missions, and challenge missions and stuff like that. All of which are absolutely fun. And with the price tag of $1.50, you truly cannot go wrong with this game. That said, it's been bundled several times, so make sure you don't already have it. And you can buy a 4-pack for $4.50. So if you've got friends who can sucker into playing with you, well, this actually is the true pick of the litter if you want to play games with somebody else. Let's see. Next up is Pixel Piracy, which honestly has had a bit of a roller coaster ride of, I guess, development. Eventually the developers kind of left it alone, told one developer to work on it. There is all sorts of controversy, some kind of like weird HR issues, and overall the game only functions kind of like an early access title, even though I think at this point, there's not too much left to be developed. The last patch was actually 2 days ago, so I guess there's actually some amount of I guess there is actually some amount of development still being put into it. It looks like sound effects, some visual stuff, and fixes. So, not great. That said, it's a very functional game, and at a $2 price tag, you can't really go wrong, especially because you're probably going to be able to get about $6, well, not $6, but about 6 hours worth of gameplay out of it, so it's not a bad choice. Okay. And lastly, as far as things that well, actually, there's also the Van Helsing games. Van Helsing 2, I believe, is really good. I don't know about Van Helsing 1, but I've heard mixed things about Van Helsing 3. That said, the price tag for all of them is actually fairly cheap. So if you want to jump in, you're probably not going to lose too much money on it. But, I mean, with the mixed reviews, I'd say stay away from 3, pick up 2. And I truly do not know about 1. It looks like it has very positive reviews as well. So I guess 1 and 2 are worth picking up. They play very similarly to Diablo, and no, you're not actually playing as Van Helsing. So I guess if you like Diablo-likes, this game is probably going to be... any of the games are probably going to be a lot of fun, but I think the third one is the third one kind of went astray. So there's that. And lastly, the controversial game of the sale, because there's always a controversial one. Yes, there are other games that I haven't talked about, but honestly, I've never played them, so I can't talk about them. That's European Ship Simulator, Leadworks, and Lucius, and King of Fighters. Never played any of them, so I really can't say. The last one is X Rebirth. X Rebirth is mostly negative on Steam. The game launched to extreme critical disappointment. The developers of this game had made many previous X games, including the very popular X3 series, and so Rebirth was supposed to be the really exciting new X game where you could land on ships, walk around, do all sorts of things, and it did it very poorly. That said, I am going to give this the very fair review. It's still in progress. The developers, credit to them, are still working on it. They're still patching it, and there's actually still a lot that they're piling into the game to make up for the fact that it released to generally incredibly negative reviews. So, if you've heard bad things about X Rebirth, I'd highly recommend going to find somebody that's played it within the last month or so. I guess the last 3 months. Because the last patch was April 2nd, and the patch before that was March 27th. But I've heard actually some really good things about them fixing the game, which is actually pretty encouraging, because I hate it when developers dump the game. That said, all of the reviews say really bad things about it, and honestly, most of the other reviews, even the more modern ones that have talked about the game, have said, just go pick up Elite Dangerous, it's got more, and it's got multiplayer. All of which are, pretty damn good things. So, if you want to get into the X series, I'd say maybe go take a look at the other Egosoft games, like X3, I want to say it's Reunion? That is the last, really good game. I think it's a little bit cheaper. But that said, X Rebirth might, if you're on the wall and you wanted to get it earlier, but you heard bad things about it, I think it's finally time that you could probably actually pick it up and not be terribly, terribly disappointed. That said, they're highly grindy, spaceship simulator games, and I don't know. They don't seem like they're going to be that exciting for the casual player. But I don't know. X Rebirth is always going to be one of those where a lot of people had a lot of hype for it, failed it, and then well, gamers have long memories, and review scores have very, very long memories indeed. So, I don't know, this one's been blackmarked forever. Even if they manage to fix it, I don't know. I might actually end up picking this one up, just because I would like to play a good space sim game, and this is a hell of a lot cheaper than Elite Dangerous, but I'll probably just pick it up in the meantime, before picking up Elite Dangerous. Or Star Citizen or anything like that, because it actually doesn't look too bad. So, I don't know, I'll take a look. Probably, but, I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but it's the last game of the set, so I have a little bit leeway here. But no, I guess I'm crossing my fingers that it's good. Not only because I'm going to be buying it, but because well, I guess I'm rooting for the underdog, for the developers to have actually fixed stuff. Because I like it when developers go back, fix their games, and make up for all of the quote-unquote wrongs they have done. And with that, that is all of the flash sales that I have a right to talk about. That went a lot longer than I wanted to, but then again, the last half of it was X Rebirth. And honestly, I'm actually surprised at the sheer selection here. Now, I changed things up a little bit, so you guys just saw the little deal screen instead. If you guys want me to switch it back over to showing, title screen stuff, I can do that, but if you guys don't care, then I'll just keep talking this way, because this cuts down a lot on time, and I can focus on other things. And if you guys want me to sheerly cut it down into a 2-minute long video, I can see what I can do in the future. But you got to tell me in the comments below, otherwise I'm not going to know. Also, as usual, if you like this video and you want to see more, leave me a like. lets me know that you want to see more, and, well, helps a lot. And then, I guess if you want to see more, hit subscribe. If you want to see more for the next, like, week and a half. Or other stuff, because I do, like, roguelike strategy games, indie games, and advertising. Probably most of my audience is watching this, but some people might not. Anyway, that's it for the flash sales. I will see you guys in a couple hours for the daily deals and more flash sales yet again.